Hi, Rapid Films here. Today I'm going to tell you about a comedy and fantasy movie of the year 2012 called Ghost Graduation. Let's get started. The movie begins by showing the graduation FIS of the class of the year. Everyone was dancing and happy except for this bro who did not know the choreography and did not have a partner until a girl who was also alone told him to come over, and they started dancing very close and they fell in love. The truth is that he was only imagining the scene. The rest of the students made fun of the poor guy, although he could see the girl in front of him. Well, he turned out to be a ghost that screwed up the party and his life because even as a modest adult, he did not make himself respected. Everyone believed that he was just as dumb as he appeared, and he did nothing about it. After that, he went to talk to his psychologist, who is also his father, who had died a long time ago. His father was very disappointed in his son and told him that his curse was worse than his own. Suddenly, this teacher began to be bothered by living crackle, and the gentleman got so scared that he ended up throwing himself from the window of the building. Or maybe the evil skeleton chained him. Then the high school principal took a chocolate from the boy and promised his parents that he would control his cholesterol. Later, he found out what happened to the literature teacher, and the inspector demanded that he put an order in the institution. He did not want any more bad news and only wanted to work there. On his first day, he saw a ghost and was scared. The students misdirected him on purpose, sending him to a remote place where no one was present. If there were some who died from a rampage that occurred in the place in the past, they were the ones who killed the teacher from before. They did not understand why Modesto was not scared. Tina did not want him to leave and demanded an explanation. She quickly deduced that she could see ghost students, but she could not do anything to make him stay. Modesto walked out of the school while he went to see her at her home to help her with that problem. At one point, the woman told him that those students were from 20 years ago. Meanwhile, these boys stayed to play the summoning board to call the others, which annoyed them by telling them that they were dead. However, the ghost was not afraid of them and stayed to talk with George, the ghost. He was interested in her and her story. Tina told George that at a party they punished the mender and a fire broke out, which was the end of it. After that, they took the living up from the school, and the director asked them to help her get them out of there by talking to them. He told him that he was never been crazy. This ended up convincing Maine that he had long believed otherwise. This time he was chained man who knew what to do with each ghost. He then returned to the burned library to talk to them, telling them that he is going to help them. The pregnant woman is Amerby, the drunk is Pink Floyd, the rocker is Dan, and the one with glasses is Angela. The teacher asked them the hard way to leave, and he ended up like this, so he went to talk to the hanged man for advice on the subject. He was a suicidal psychiatrist and told him to help them finish the course they could not finish when they were alive. Only then can they transcend to other plane and stop hunting those who want to study on the side. The bad thing was that the vandals did not want to damage the nutcracker belonging to the professor, who came to order without making friends with them. They did not believe in teachers' hoaxes and started to take advantage of the beautiful ship at the institution without any care. They had no intention of living modestly. The teacher read in his files that they were giving him a hard time and that he was a scoundrel who bothered the children and loved music. He had the idea of playing reggaeton to cheer them up and told them that the king of pop had died and that a year later they won the World Cup. However, the Vandals were not aware of the latest news and achievements of their Iberian country and did not want to miss out on any more of the world. They decided to pass the course while they found out who George was and with whom he had spoken a while ago. They started talking about their lives through the keyboard. The parent council member did not like the teacher and wanted to fire him. He was an ugly guy who came from nowhere to take over everything without caring about the rest. Angela joined the choir to demonstrate her talent. but only ultrasounds were heard from the speaker. The boys were very scared. George complained to Dan about what had happened to the singer for no reason. The teacher tried to help him, but he continued to be stubborn and ended up running Elsa's laptop. Although it was not a problem for the lovers to look for a wreck over there, they told each other about everything they would do if they had the opportunity. Suddenly, the religious teacher found the cha and played the keyboard. Later, the classes continued without the presence of the grumpy rocker, who unexpectedly came to attend and proved to be quite smart. They warned Modesto that Arcundia would arrive for Founders Day, and she was afraid that the ghost would ruin everything and take away her father's anger. Anyway, John did something to calm her down by eating some chicks outside. The blonde hinted at him to do something, but he was kind of slow, so she had to take the initiative herself and encourage him to dance. Bro could not kiss her because of the trauma of the dance at the beginning of her, and she went off to resume classes with the dead. The teacher was going to make the students suffer by studying so that they would graduate quickly before that important day, and nothing would happen. Many days passed and they were close to finishing in the baths. George told the teacher that he wanted to leave with him and that he did not have anyone else. They agreed to do something together on a special occasion. The teacher went to wish George luck. He found out that the blonde was talking to the live girl and told him not to do something crazy. The thing did not happen in the Savourian. The teacher gave the results, and Dan's disappointment passed without problems. He left questions that were known in class unanswered. Maybe he does not want to leave yet. Even so, the old man approved it for the being cool, and the boys went to the light finally. Love was tremendous son that passed, but they got mad at him for having lied to them and went to get even by making a mess all over the school. There, the teacher complained to the old man about the bad advice he gave him before. He understood that they could not leave because they had to admit their faults. The teacher wanted to notify the old man of his discovery, but the bald man exposed him in front of others and of his supernatural power. The people present did not believe him and agreed to send him away before retiring. The teacher told the ghost that they must be fine friends, keeping secrets and not telling each other everything. The teacher tried to convince the ghost to speak, but the rocker spat out the soup, saying that he accidentally started the fire. The rocker just wanted to go to the party but was locked up and did not tell the truth for fear of leaving. Tub asked Modesto's forgiveness and the others forced her to fire him, but it did not help. The teacher tried to reconcile the psychiatrist who had a grudge against each other, but it did not work. Tina was still trying to communicate with the fire but had no results. She asked her ghost to meet with her to talk and help bring back the resentful person who hung up the calls. One day, the teacher arrived at the big day. The ghost stopped him and showed him the truth, and Marivai found out that he was her boyfriend. Modesto told Marivai what she wanted to hear, but he was going to ruin Tina anyway by talking to the counselor. The teacher told Angel to animate the choir, and she got into a student and began to sing. The party caught on and the rest of the chorus played along until the fat man stopped the show. Dan got into the fat man's body and made him say things that left everyone amazed. Finally, the girl came back to life and the months were ready to get out of the school. Pink Lloyd danced to the canon that she wanted so much, and Modesto had another opportunity to overcome his traumas. Maribel told Modesto that Pink Lloyd was wrong, and the boys went to visit San Pedro. They held hands and left relieved of so much life without death. Modesto had a good ending with the blonde who loved him a lot.